Ratios, tables to graphs. This is a digital lesson, and it walks students through the steps of taking the values from a table and converting it to a graph. So it starts out with giving the students a table here, and they have to determine whether it's a proportional table. So they're going to take the first ratio here, 1 to 4, and they're going to compare it to each of the ratios on the table. So 1 to 4 to 3 to 12. Are they equivalent? And they're going to move these little red ovals to cover either yes or no. Are they equivalent? If all of them are equivalent, then the table is a proportional table. The next slide, then they're going to answer that question. Was that a proportional table? And they're just going to move this oval. So they just click and hold on the edge, and then they can move it to cover either yes or no. The next slide has a table of values, and students are going to take this table and create ordered pairs. So all they have to do is click here. They're going to type in 0, 0. It's their first set of ordered pairs. And then 1, 4, 2, 8, and so on. So it just gives them practice taking a table and creating ordered pairs. The next slide, students are just going to plot the points. So they've got these movable green points. They're just going to click and hold on them, and then they can move them. And they're going to plot all of these points. This is a quadrant 1 graph, and they're going to plot all 5 of these points. Next, the students are shown that a proportional graph is always going to be a straight line that goes through the origin. So then they're going to try to identify which of these graphs is proportional, and they're going to put an X in the box next to any proportional graph, straight line through the origin. Now they have several slides where they're going to practice doing this. So they're given points. They have to move these green points here onto the graph to plot all the points, and then they're going to answer the question at the bottom, is this graph proportional? So they're going to do this several times, different graphs. When they get down to the final problem here, they're given a word problem, and they have to take the information from the word problem, and they're going to create a table first. So all of these are movable. So for 1 scoop of ice cream, it costs 25 cents. So they're just going to click on the edge here and then move that into place to create their table. So they're going to fill in their table. Once they get the table filled in, then they're going to write their ordered pairs. So they're going to type in, for example, 0, 0. It asks them, will 0, 0 be a point on this graph? And you want to point out to the students that if they had 0 scoops, would it be 0 cost? Would there be a 0, 0? And in this case, there would be. So in this box, they're going to go ahead then and type in all of the ordered pairs from the table, including the 0, 0. Once they get this done, then they're going to plot the points onto the graph, and they're going to determine whether this is a proportional table or not. Is the ratio of scoops to cost proportional? And the very last slide, they're just going to type this in complete sentences. Is the ratio of scoops to cost proportional? And they're going to explain why. By looking at the graph, how did they know whether it was proportional or not? Now you can take this and just have the students make a poster that looks just like this. So that would be an extension of this lesson. So this is Ratios, Tables to Graphs, a digital lesson.